Let's explore self-love. This morning's lesson is drawn from a good-hearted question found on Reddit, which asks, how can I love myself? Since puberty and even before that, I hated myself. Hated my face, my body, and now, even though I'm a good-looking man, I keep finding some flaw in myself. And the bad part is I end up finding them and hating myself again. When people ask for help with self-love, what they're really asking for is help antidoting or treating self-loathing. I feel like I don't deserve love and anything because I'm ugly. Is there any meditations or techniques to stop hating myself, to heal from years of hate speech against myself? Yes. Yes, there are. So there's two techniques. The first one is to stop your current self-loathing momentum. So give yourself a break. And then maybe after a week of that, you're ready to start doing the deeper diving, popping the hood, seeing what's really causing that. But I'd like to begin with the superficialities. Not because you're superficial, but just because it sounds like you are in a crisis right now, and I'd like to really, really help you with that. And so we're going to take it in a departure from my typical pattern. We're going to go straight into practice with commentary after, sadly, 30 seconds of housekeeping because welcome to YouTube. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent about 8 hours a day, every day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each sect of Buddhism so that you will not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. And now, enough of this, let's get down to it. This practice comes from the latest iteration of the Kind Gaze Easy Meditation practice text. Don't worry, Kind Gaze isn't an entity you have to believe in. It's just a name we give to an archetype. So, I'm going to share with you something I wish I had been taught in junior high. Remember how turbulent we were emotionally in junior high? And here it is. In the Tibetan tradition, before we practice silent meditation, we energetically set ourselves up for success. We're going to do this. There are several ways to do this. The first way to do it, probably the easiest way to do it, is by inviting our experience of energy, whether the energy is real or just perceived. But we're going to invite a real or imagined subtle energy to coalesce at the top of our head. One of the easiest methods is allegoric. And so we are inviting the real or imagined teacher, that is simply the teachings, to come to the crown of our head. What's most important is that we are using the verb come, and we're using the noun crown. We're also going to snap our fingers over our head like Arnold Horshack raising his hand in Mr. Cotter's class, if you're an OG like me. So together, let's chant this right now. May Lama come to this crown. May Lama come to this crown. Again. May Lama come to this crown. May Lama come to this crown. And a final time. May Lama come to this crown. May Lama come to this crown. And that's it. Now we're ready for the actual meditation. What we're doing, and this is going to sound scary, we're going to bring whatever we spontaneously notice into the path of awareness and letting go. Now you might say, and rightly so, if I knew how to do that, I wouldn't have to come here now, would I? And that's completely understandable. So I'm going to help you do this by bringing these ancient techniques, these Iron Age techniques, into the Silicon Age that we currently dwell in, by gazing at them through the metaphoric lens of neuroscience. We're going to begin with mindfulness, which is the seventh fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Every time we breathe in, whether we know it or not, we are accessing our sympathetic nervous system, ensconced within the thoracic region or ribcage region of our spinal cord. It evolved to help us perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. Now, we never feel quite as vulnerable as when we're naked, or if you're a fan of Eddie Murphy's work, as when we are naked on a zebra. But this vulnerability is communicated in this piece of art, where the sky and the scowl are completely bereft of all ornamentation, reminding us of the vulnerability that we access naturally during each inhalation. Now, all of us have a brain, a 3-pound supercomputer between our ears that kind of acts like, what's his face from Family Matters? The nerdy kid who would knock things over and always say, "Did I do that?" I forgot his name. If you remember his name, let me know. Anyway, we all kind of act like that. Our brain does, at least. But just like that kid in that TV series, our brain has a heart of gold. It is not malicious. And so if we give it the task and we say, "Hey, brain, during the inhalation, would you please silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this?" Then not only will it do that, but in doing that, it will cooperate with the sympathetic nervous system, helping us to perceive. Now, this sympathetic nervous system is wired to notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, to notice emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Now, for those of us who feel like we're drowning in the high seas of self-loathing, that could seem really daunting and really scary. So if we're going to increase our vulnerability with this exercise, how are we going to survive the ferocity of the self-loathing? And that's found in meditation, which is actually the eightfold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. And the secret to meditation is going to blow your mind. Every time that we exhale, whether we know it or not, we are accessing our parasympathetic nervous system, which is ensconced within both the lower lumbar region of our spinal cord, as well as the tippy top of our cervical region that is sometimes known as the reticular activation system, but I prefer the term brainstem because this does look like a mushroom, doesn't it? Anyway, every time we exhale, this parasympathetic nervous system is already wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Now, you might be saying, well, if that's the case, why aren't I mellow? Why am I already consumed with self-loathing? And the answer is quite simply, our brain is accidentally, clumsily in opposition to our parasympathetic nervous system. Once again, that name eludes me. So anyway, but the solution is simple. If we invite our brain to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, what will happen is our brain will start cooperating more fully with our parasympathetic nervous system. Instead of opposing it, it's going to cooperate with it. So, for the next several minutes, as we inhale, let us silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and as we exhale, let us silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. So I've done a lot of jibber jabber, and I'd like to recapture the momentum. So let us return to the opening chant. May Lama come to this crown, may Lama come to this crown. May Lama come to this crown, may Lama come to this crown. And let's continue with awareness and letting go. Now, the job of this exercise is not to make the self-loathing go away. It's for us not to exacerbate it by resisting it. It's to help us to be more tolerant of whatever perception, emotion, intention, thought, memory, or imagining cartwheels across the stage of our mind. Welcome to this morning's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. So, as promised, we've been playing with an exercise to basically take the edge off of self-loathing, to make it more manageable, to make it less of something that could drown us. And now we get to do something that's both exciting and a little bit scary, and that is take a deeper dive and set space for things to come up that might imagine, if you will, a row of dominoes stacked on their side. And they've already been knocked over. And we can survey that line of knocked over dominoes and look at the first one, or at least the first few ones, and see that indirectly they caused the knockover of the other ones. Similarly, as a result of the next exercise, things could come up. Those things could be memories, they could be fantasies, they could be thoughts, they could be intentions, they could be emotions, but they could very strongly have a causal relationship to our present moment experience of self-loathing. And so just as the key that unlocked the door to coping with the present moment was an energy exercise that brought our energy to the crown, the key that unlocks the door to this step of our practice is going to be more energy exercise, but this energy exercise is for heart-centered energy. Now, this is classically more tumultuous, so it is more inconvenient, it is more scary, but it gives us a lot more quote-unquote intelligence, much more data to work with in terms of evolution. So, in a manner not dissimilar from the first energy exercise, we're going to figuratively invite the real or metaphoric teacher to blend with our heart-mind. The most important thing is the verb blend and the noun heart. By chanting this, it's going to influence our experience of real or imagined subtle energy. Please chant with me right now. Lama blend with heart mind, Lama blend with heart mind. Lama blend with heart mind, Lama blend with heart mind. Final time. Lama blend with heart mind, Lama blend with heart mind. This is not a question of visualization, this is not a question of belief. We're simply playing with words in a way that influences our intention, in a way that influences our mind, in a way that influences our energy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And again, we're going to return to our old standby, spontaneously bringing whatever we spontaneously notice into the path of awareness and letting go. Welcome to this morning's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. And now we move on to the final third of this morning's practice. And its first of three portions is as follows. We're going to bring the four bases of mindfulness, the circumstantial, the physical, the interpersonal, and the mental. We're going to bring the four bases of mindfulness into the practice of love and letting go. Going to do this through the cunning use of mantra meditation. Please chant with me. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with the follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors for statements literal, and instead relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. Let us review the meaning of Tibet's most famous mantra. O I invoke the wish of healing Mani, jewel of love, and the purifying Pemi lotus of letting go, supplicating with whom may love and letting go be mastered by all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chant this loving wish that we're going to then shrink down into 6 syllables. May all minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened. 1 moment. May all clear minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened as a mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a tikle 1 syllable seed or bija mantra. During our inhalation, we can silently, mentally, and passively recite this 6-syllable essentialization of that previous recitation. During our exhalation, we can physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 6-syllable mantra 8 times per breath. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. Let's see, I think I should undo and edit. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. May all relationships or speech of all beings no be as joyfully. Oopsie, I think let's continue. Om mani mimi yung, 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 Mani mimi yung, oh mani mimi yung. Now here we go. May all relationships, all speech of all beings no be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha's communication symbolized by the six audible mantra. Om mani mimi yung, 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 mani mimi yung, oh 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 mani mimi yung, mani mimi yung, oh mani mimi yung, oh mani mimi yung, oh mani mimi yung. Together. May all bodies or forms of all beings now enjoy the beautiful Halcyon and Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined Devi or Yadam archetype of enlightenment such as Chenrezig. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know have the good fortune or boon as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land of Vati. Om mani mimi yung, 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 om mani mimi yung. And now let us bring again the 4 bases of mindfulness into the figurative practice of the rainbow body. Let me see if I can't do an edit here. Nope. Close enough for government work. Okay, let's make sure that everything's copacetic. Please chant with me. All visible circumstances or laws could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. All complex life forms on this planet have evolved to think symbolically. Therefore, it should come as little surprise that we could use the verb melt as a metaphor of impermanence or the verb absorb as a metaphor of interdependence. Again, we're going to take this lengthy recitation and condense it down to just 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation as we explore how the Madhyamaka experience that circumstances can be both seen yet non-graspable. All sensual bodies or forms could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communicational speech. All resounding interpersonal speech could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. All lucid minds could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn. which although tantalizing to the eye could be not graspable to the hand. So even though our minds can clearly perceive, emote, intend, or reason, recall, and imagine, simultaneously as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel less graspable. Or in other words, they could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void, at least momentarily. For this evening's final meditation, again we're going to bring whatever we spontaneously notice into the path of awareness and letting go. This exercise is known by so many names, including Dzogchen Sutra Mahamudra Ati Yoga Mahasandhi, and my favorite, Trekcho's Slice Through the Duality of Dread and Desire. As we can silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this as we breathe in, while noticing the antics of mind as it perceives, emotes, intends, reasons, recalls, and imagines. We can silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease as we exhale, while we physically relax into mind's non-graspable nature. Let's seal this morning's practice by chanting Love and Letting Go's wishes for universal enlightenment and well-being. May all minds of all beings lucid yet void no be as enlightened as the Buddha's mind symbolized by a one-syllable mission. May all speech of all beings resounding yet void no be as loving as the Buddha's speech symbolized by a multi-syllable mantra. May all forms of all beings sensual yet void no be as healthy as a Yidam archetype depicted in Buddha's statuary. May all lots of all beings appearing yet void no be as fortunate as a pure land of lore represented in Buddhist paintings. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.